Hello, everybody. Yesterday, Microsoft finally released helicopters, and we are here to check them out. And I said, what is the best occasion, if not this one, to give you a full helicopter course from noob to pro? We will start learning how to fly helicopters, all the quirks they have, and the dynamics of the helicopter, all the way to professional. So let me just show you a few things, and here is the course intro and jingle for you. Well, expect a number of those jingles in the future as I plan to do a number of lessons. As I said, teaching you everything you need to know about this incredible thing that is a helicopter. I'm a helicopter passionate. I couldn't even wait for helicopters to be in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, with a community of friends, we've been flying helicopters for over 1 year in Microsoft Flight Simulator, even though they were not supported. How did we do that? You're going to ask. Well, as you might know, there is this incredible website called Flight SimTO, which allows you to load free add-ons and check it out because it's fantastic. You can find sceneries, aircraft, liveries, and everything. And they have this helicopter section. So with some friends, we started creating helicopters in Microsoft Flight Simulators, and there are like 12 of them already in place that have been there and used by thousands of people, like 50,000 downloads here. Another one is even, this one, HPG, has over 500,000 downloads. That's, well, many versions. And I personally worked on the Robinson 44, the H125, and I worked especially on MSFS, which is the magic behind the fact that we could fly helicopters in Microsoft Flight Simulator, even though they were not supported. This is a physics library which has been allowing people to fly helicopters for free for more than 1 year. Now that Microsoft has done helicopter, this project, MSFS, will not be abandoned. We will actually improve it with advanced flight dynamics and like study level helicopter aerodynamics. But I would say for 90% of you, what you're going to see today and going to learn with these lessons, that I will make most of them, I would say, if not all of them, depending on the features that are available, with using the standard helicopter that you can download, so you can even try it on Xbox and everything. Everything applies. The only thing you will need a joystick, because you can still fly with a gamepad, but my recommendation, if you can, is to get a joystick because you have more control. Helicopters are not easy to fly, especially on advanced settings, and you need a lot of sensitivity. So, ready to fly, ready to fly. First thing I want to point is how you change your helicopter behavior. Let me go from inside so it's less noisy. Behavior from easy to hard. So there is two things you need to do. One is obviously in the control options here, properly set up your joystick. I will not go into that very much, but just to let you know, you have to assign your flight control surfaces, primary control surfaces, the rudder, the elevator, and the aileron. So in a helicopter, we don't have a rudder, elevator, or aileron. We have a cyclic, which is the stick that is sitting behind your legs, and the pedals, which will allow you to control the tail rotor. So elevator and ailerons are actually, you're going to manage it through your cyclic, assign it to your cyclic. You will assign whatever control you have for your pedals, which in the case of my joystick here is the fact of spinning the joystick on its axis, okay, rotating it with my hand. Then the other thing is in power management, you have the throttle, and this is what will control the collective, which is the thing here. I recommend, usually you pull the collective to lift the helicopter from the ground, lifting the blades, changing the blades angle of the main rotor. So I recommend maybe putting it in the opposite, so you kind of give more power pulling the collective towards yourself, whereas on a plane you would push the thrust forward. So I recommend switching that, but it kind of naturally, I mean, it did it naturally for me without having to change anything. And then the most important thing is in the assistance options. So assistance option, if you go into piloting, you have this assisted tail rotor and assisted cyclic. Usually you will find them on, which is the way it normally is. And I'm going to show you what difference it makes. You know, this is fully assisted, and we're going to remove one by one and see what difference it makes in the flight. Okay. So I'm resuming, and here we are with my helicopter, and looking at it from, let's say, a little bit behind and up here, and see what happens. So I'm now lifting my collective, or changing the angle of my blades a little bit, and lifting the helicopter from the ground. Okay, just gently. You see the helicopter will start and hover a little bit. What happens is that you have what is called a ground effect. The airflow from the blades will bounce on the ground and create a cushion of air where you will stay on top of this cushion with your helicopter. There is a nice trick here. I'm going to show you another nice trick. If you go into your assistance options here and in the user experience, you can switch on this aerodynamic visualization. Sorry, apply and save, and go back, resume. And you will see your airflow. And as I lower my helicopter, you will see those strings changing the shape because they're bouncing on the ground. Thank you to Microsoft for giving us this feature. I really love this aerodynamic thing. While we are here, let's see what happens when I use my rudder or pedals. So the rudder or pedals are used in helicopter mostly in slow flights or hovering to turn your helicopter around. So let me just go back here, approximately like here, and see what happens. And now I'm using my pedals. And you see the helicopter spins around and even kind of stops quite abruptly, which is not really realistic, but well, hey, we are on easy settings here. So I'm kind of spinning my helicopter around, and it stops there. I can push it all the way, and it stops. And look at the beautiful scenery here. We are in Bella Coola, Canada, as I said. This is what the rudder does, and you see the airflow changes. So we have some flow created where the tail rotor here is around here. Then you have the stabilizers, which is, there is one here, and there is one you will see from the side, which is here. The tail rotor is actually merged in the vertical stabilizer that will help stabilize the helicopter in forward flight and also save some fuel because you will be using less tail rotor. And you'll see why you'll need to use the tail rotor in forward flight in a second. Let me remove these visualization options. And in the user experience here, turn them off, apply and save, and go back and resume. Here I am. You see the helicopter is extremely stable. Whatever I do, it will kind of stop and go back to, you know, kind of clean hovering. So if you're a beginner, I recommend enjoying helicopters this way. You can use them for sightseeing and many things. The real helicopters don't fly that with assistance. You really need to put a lot of effort in controlling them, especially in a hovering phase, which is where we're now. So let's remove one of the assistants and see what happens. Let's go here in the assistance options, and we will start with the easier one to remove, which is the assisted cyclic. Okay, I turn it off, apply and save, go back and resume. Now, nothing has changed, but you see the helicopter goes. I'm not touching my joystick at all. I have to correct it in order to stop, okay? And it goes the other way around, okay? And if I correct it, it goes the other way around. The thing is, helicopter, due to this airflow going through the rotor, are extremely unstable in a hovering. So you need to if you want to hover in place, let me just put a little bit more collective. I just put like probably 0% collective. And you usually want to hover at about 10 feet or 3 meters above the ground, which is probably around where I am now. And so you have to keep on correcting this in order to keep it in place. So even looking at it from outside, I will start moving. If I leave my collective, I'm just start to move around the airport, navigating, whatever. Let me just quickly stop somewhere. So I'm going to show you the next maneuver. Okay. And there is this, it's the help here. Let me land here very quickly. Usually you want to do a very clean landing, slow, but we don't have time in a video, so I'm gonna scratch my skids. My instructor wouldn't be happy. Let me go back into my options and remove the other one. What I can do here is in piloting, let me see, I'm gonna remove the tail rotor because it will not make a difference. This will make it way, way harder. Okay. Apply and save and resume. So what happens here is the main rotor is spinning on top of the helicopter. So as it's spinning, it creates a torque. And the helicopter, so the body, since it's not attached to anything, it's flying, want to move the opposite direction. So this is called the main rotor torque, and it's actually the torque of an engine. It's not different from the torque of your engine when it applies torque on wheels. But the thing is, you have to compensate with this torque with your tail rotor so your helicopter does not spin. Let me show you quickly what happens if I don't apply any pedals. So I'm just using my collective to increase my helicopter, to lift my helicopter, and see what happens immediately. It starts spinning around, okay? Let me land again. And this is due to the main rotor torque. So to compensate that, you're going to use the tail rotor. But hey, there is one thing here, because the tail rotor, as you see, is a propeller. And you see it's a propeller here. So the propeller will push your helicopter on his propeller side, which should be that one. So you'll end up, your helicopter will start to move sideways because this propeller pushes sideways. So you have to correct it with the cyclic. So you have to use the three controls at the same time to actually control your helicopter. Let me show you that very quickly. I'm here, I'm taking off, it starts to spin, I'm correcting that, and helicopters sometimes spin to the left, like the Cabri, and this is most happens with European helicopters, or to the right, as most helicopters do, like the Bells and such, because the main rotor is spinning the opposite direction. So you see I'm now controlling my rotation, vertical rotation, but I have to keep on adjusting my cyclic in order to stay in place. If I let go my cyclic, you see my helicopter starts drifting to the right. That's because of the tail rotor pushing me to the right. Okay, so we're gonna do this course, learning to fly helicopters from beginner all the way to advanced. I will start with a beginner course, and those are incredible machines. I'm gonna show you incredible maneuvers and things you can do with helicopters, like quick stops, like stopping in midair, landing, confined landing, which means when you're landing in a confined area, and many, many beautiful things that only helicopters can do. So this will be the end of my video. I hope you enjoy it, and please do not forget to subscribe, so you'll get all my updates on helicopters in the future. Thank you, and bye-bye.